Shalom, this is your Ark. Yah is magnified, coming back with another informative video. I titled this video, Duty of Support. But before I tackle this subject, as always, I must state for the record, I'm not a lawyer, I do not practice law, and I do not pretend to. All my videos are for informational and educational purposes only. They're all facts and all truth. Nothing more, nothing less. So with that being said, let's get to it. Okay, so I titled this video, Duty of Support, for you guys to get better understanding of what's going on, okay? I can give you remedy right now at the beginning of the video, and most of y'all still won't understand something so simple. And this is the remedy, okay? Stop going to court. If they're bringing you into their courts to try to force you into paying child support, stop going into their courts doing what? Adding on to the controversy and making claims. That's your remedy right there. If you want to win against these people for bringing you into their courts and beating them out of their own game, then stop playing it. It's just that simple. Okay? It's just that simple. I can't make it no simpler or more easier than that. Okay? So, if you think, you have people telling you guys to go to these courts, file these federal codes and put these federal codes in the courts, trying to say that they are forcing you into slavery and stuff like that, that's not the case. The case is this. They feel as though you have a duty as a what? As a United States citizen and or national, or a state citizen and or national. Okay? That's all it is. They feel as though you have a duty of what? Of support. That's it. That's all. And we're going to further prove that as well. Okay? So there is no federal code that's going to get you out of that, out of your situation. There is no state code that's going to get you out of your situation. What's going to get you out of your situation is plain and simple. Stop going in the courts arguing. Stop making claims to anything, and stand as a man. It's just that simple. Everything else is uncivilized. Okay? That's it. It's uncivilized. But let's continue and let's read. Let's pick this up at Title 42 USC subsection 654. State Plan for Child and Spousal Support. Okay, so now if there's a state plan for child and spousal support, but you saying that you are a state national or a state citizen, which both are the same because they both pledge allegiance to that state, and if they both are the same and you're claiming to be underneath that state, then you have to follow what? The codes of that state. You have to. Why? Because you made your allegiance to that state and you owe a duty to that state. Why? Once you made that allegiance, once you pledged that allegiance to that state. It's just that simple. Okay? Child support is a federal code and a state program that also has state codes. Okay? So, there is no federal law that's going to get you out of another federal law. No. All these laws are cohesive with one another. Okay? They all go hand in hand. One code protects the other. And it's just that simple. Why would they... What the scripture says, a kingdom divided will not stand. So they're not going to make codes against their own codes. Why? It'll be divided and it won't stand. It's just that simple. Same thing with the state program. But let's read right here. It states, a state plan for child and spousal support must, 1, provide that it shall be in effect in all political subdivisions of the state. Now let's talk on the definition of state, because you have some people believing that the state only includes the District of Columbia, Puerto Rico, Guam, Virginia Virgin Islands, United States Virgin Islands, and American Samoa. But let's see the true definition of state. Okay? Let's pick this up at E. Okay? E right here. Let's pick it up right here where it says the highlighted areas. Where it says E. State the term. State means each of what? The 50 states. Each of what? The 50 states. So if you in one of the 50 states and you pledge your allegiance to the state and you claiming to be one of the 50 state citizens, then you are agreeing to what? The codes and statutes of that state. So if that state says that you have a duty to pay support, then guess what you must do? Since you pledge allegiance to that state and you're claiming to be that state citizen, then you fall underneath that duty of support. It's just that simple. Let's continue. The District of Columbia, the Commonwealth of Puerto Rico, the United States Virgin Islands, Guam, and American Samoa. Right? So, if you claim any of these territories, alright, then you are obligated to pay support. It's just that simple. It's just that simple. Keyword again, if you are claiming any of those territories, then you owe a duty of support. It's just that simple, okay? So I just finished up an appeal brief in New York. So let's go to New York to further prove the duty of support. Let's go there. Okay, as you all can see, we're coming from the New York Consolidated Laws, Family Court Act, FCT, subsection 413, parents' duty to support child. So what I tell you, they feel as though if you claiming to be a parent, then you have a duty to support the child. That's why I tell you all, don't go to these courts making claims of anything. Okay? Like I tell you all, there is no federal law or state law that's going to get you out of this. Okay? What's going to get you out of this is your understanding of the truth. Okay? And to stop adding on to the controversy and stop playing these games. Okay? And I'm going to also show you after this why I say stop adding on to the controversy. But let's continue on reading. So if you're in New York and you're dealing with child support, like I said, we just finished the New York appeals brief. You know, he should be filing it shortly after he get the pages and everything numbered on his end. Then he can start filing the documents into the court and sending it off to the opposing parties. Okay? But like I stated, if you're in New York, read this act. Get better understanding of what's going on. Okay? Let's stroll up. It states, 1. Except as provided in subdivision 2 of this section, the parents of a child under the age of 21 years are chargeable with support of such child. And so let's go back and read that again. Who's chargeable with support of their child? It says the parent of a child under the age of 21 years are chargeable with the support of such child. And if possessed of sufficient means are able to earn such means, shall be required to pay for child support a fair and reasonable sum as the court may determine. As who may determine? The court. Okay? So, hold on. If the child is so-called yours, how can the court determine something and determine how much you got to pay? Oh, come on, man. Pay close attention to what's being said, people. That's all you got to do. Pay close attention to what's being said. Read it exactly as it states. Okay? You don't have to guess. They put it out there in front of you guys to let you know what's going on. Okay? To certain people who have an eye to see and ears to hear, they pick it up immediately. For those who don't, they have to be shown more and more and more before they can catch on to it. But it can't get no clearer than that. So let's read it one more time. The parents, right? The parents of a child under the age of 21 are chargeable with support. Okay? The parents are chargeable with support. Okay? So if you go to court again, claiming to be a parent, then you are what? Chargeable with support. It's just that simple. So people hit me up in my email saying, so what did you claim? I say, I claim nothing. It's just that simple. I claim anything. I don't claim anything. I don't own nothing. Nothing belongs to me. I don't claim anything. So again, now that I said that, if the court can determine who has the child, then who is the court? Pay close attention, man. Get understanding, people. That's all I ask you all. So now, let's go to why I say don't add on to the controversy. Okay, as you all can see, we're coming from 42 USC subsection 660, civil actions to enforce child support obligations, jurisdiction of district courts. So you guys need to understand how the courts get jurisdiction over you. Once you see that and realize that, then you would say everything y'all's magnified is telling us is the truth. Okay? Y'all's magnified been dropping these Jews on y'all for a long time now. Okay? People are not paying attention and they're not understanding and they're basically not studying the truth. Okay? So now, let's find out how these courts get jurisdiction over you guys. The district court, right, of the United States shall have jurisdiction without regard to any amount in what? Controversy. Any amount in what? Controversy. I said what? Never argue the facts, don't state any claims, and stop participating in what? The controversy. Remove the controversy, you remove what? Your jurisdiction. It's just that simple. It's just that simple. We have everybody else telling y'all to go in there, use this United States code, they got you in slavery, all that other nonsense, man. a bunch of goop gobbly nonsense. By you going in there and admit to these things, you putting yourself in slavery. It's just that simple. By you going to these courts making these claims, you're claiming yourself to be what they claim you out to be, and now you put yourself in bondage. It's just that simple. Okay? Like Pontius Pilate said to the Messiah, are you the king of the Jews? He looked at Pontius and said, you said so. Meaning, you claim that I am. It's just that simple. It's just that simple. He didn't admit to being anything. They did. And when he said that, Pontius Pilate said what? I find no fault with this man. Free to go. Stop playing, man. Learn from the scriptures. Learn from the law. The Messiah left us the way to go. He left us the plan to go. Just stop adding on to the jurisdiction. So when you all get time, copy that code, Google it, research it, get your understanding on. Okay? Stop jurisdiction at the gate. Stop playing games. Stop playing games, man. Like I said, I'm not going to tell y'all to go into court and use federal codes to try to stop another federal code when they all are in cohesive with one another. Okay? Matter of fact, you have people telling y'all to go to the Department of Justice and use that website to get off of child support. Let's see exactly what the Department of Justice say about child support. Then I'm out of here. Let's go there. Okay, as you all can see, we're coming from the famous United States Department of Justice website. This is the website everybody was led to believe that the Qatar law firm came from and everything else, which is far from the truth. Okay, and this is the website that a lot of people are telling you guys to go to try to get off of child support, which is far from the truth. Okay, the Department of Justice is a federal government website. Okay, child support is a federal government law. Okay, you cannot have federal government going against federal government. No, that's a divided house. A divided house will not stand. There is no statutes or codes that you can use from the state or the federal that's going to get you free from their programs and their laws. Okay? It's just that simple. But let's read it. It states Citizens Guide to U.S. Federal Law on Child Support Enforcement. So, child support enforcement is what? United States federal law. So you think you're going to use another federal law to stop a federal law in place? No, they all in agreement with one another. Okay, so let's read what the Department of Justice has to say. 18 U.S.C. subsection 228, failure to pay legal child support obligations. Section 228 of Title 18 United States Codes makes it illegal for an individual to willfully fail to pay child support in certain circumstances. Okay? Is they not quoting United States codes? Let's continue. For one, an individual is subject to federal prosecution if he or she willfully fails to pay child support that has been ordered by a court for a child who lives in another state, or if the payment is past due for longer than 1 year or exceeds the amount of $5,000. A violation of this law is a criminal misdemeanor, and convicted offenders faces fines and up to 6 months in prison. See 18 United States Code subsection 228A1. See how they're using United States codes to further prove their point? But you have people that want to use United States codes to try to go against these United States codes. It's not going to work. They're all backed by the United States. Let's continue. If under the same circumstances, the child support payment is overdue for longer than 2 years, for the amount exceeds $10,000, the violation is a criminal felony, and convicted offenders faces fines and up to 2 years in prison. See subsection C, United States Code subsection 228A3. Lastly, this statute prohibits individuals obligated to pay child support from crossing state lines or fleeing the country with the intent to avoid paying child support that has either been past due for more than 1 year or exceeds $5,000. See 18 U.S.C. subsection 228A2. So again, that's for the people who want to get the passport. Okay? Everything I've been teaching y'all. My last video was about the passport. You just read it right now that you can't travel across state lines. You can't leave the country or flee the country because they're going to feel as though you're a flight risk. And you're not going to avoid what? Paying support. But let's continue. Any individual convicted of this crime may face up to 2 years in prison. Notably, notably, other than in the specific circumstances aforementioned, child support enforcement issues are handled by state and local authorities and not by the federal government. Furthermore, all child support enforcement matters must be addressed at the local or state level before concerns can be raised at the federal level. So again, that's all I'm going to do for today. If you all need my help, hit me up in my email at y'allsmagnified@gmail.com. There is no federal law that's going to get you out of child support. There is no state law that's going to get you out of child support. They got all the bases covered, man. So the best thing for you to do is what? Stop arguing the facts. Don't add on to the controversy, and stand as a man. That's all I can tell you guys to do. So with that being said, you all be blessed. Enjoy y'all weekend. I say shalom.